for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to rumble!
Hello there, and welcome back to Your 15 Minutes with Tom Bass. Time for another show, episode 7. I am pumped. Last time you saw me, I was in a wrestling room somewhere in Georgia. Well, guess what? I'm no longer there because now I am in sunny South Florida. My 40th high school reunion. That's right, 40th. Hard to believe, I know. I'm on the bay. We got yachts. It's not mine. I don't know one, as you know, but a good shot. I got a beautiful man. It's this man in the background. It's a phenomenal backdrop to me. I'm really super excited about my guest today. And this guy, I want you to know, who's going to be on here with me today. We go back close to 50 years. 50 years. It's hard to believe this. I've captured him. I've forced him. He's got a lot of great stories to tell. I'm going to bring him out here, Mr. Keith Dugan. Keith, come on out to the show, buddy. Come on out here and join me for your 15 minutes. There you go, buddy. Take the mic. You know. Now let me explain something to Keith. You actually have to talk into the mic.
Really?
So, right now, if you're talking, they don't hear you. But let's see.
Gotcha.
Okay, beautiful. Welcome. Well, so first of all, just so you know, I'm sure that you've watched every episode front to back.
Binge watch.
And you're one of the throngs of my people who are watching, which I want to thank you. But what I'm going to do is I hit my timer, and we have your 15 minutes. We've now started your 15 minutes. Okay. The timer's off.
Sounds good.
Okay, and at 15 minutes, my dog Roscoe will be barking. But you can see it's a little windy today.
Yes.
So before we get started, we're here for a reunion.
Obviously.
North Miami High School.
Yes, sir.
Happy reunion.
You too.
Thank you, my friend.
You
You look beautiful, by the way.
So do you.
Thank you. And we've got a little wind. There's iguanas around the pool.
Yes, sir.
We're in South. There's iguanas.
Yeah.
Okay, it's hard to believe.
It's not Michigan.
But we've got a special person that's joining us also today who graduated with us.
No way.
Now, we're not going to mic him, but we may let him jump in for a minute. He's going to be what we call the wind protector of the backdrop.
The wind protector.
Of the backdrop.
Okay.
Let's welcome Mr. Coach Chris Brown. Chris, come on, sir. Come on in, sir. We get Knuckles. Now, again, this is a big budget operation, as you know. I've got a huge crew of people. Hundreds are back there. Things are going on, but we only have 2 mics. So, Chris, if you feel the need, you'll have to just tap Keith, and Keith
Very
probably won't give
chance.
it to you.
No, I won't.
So, can I call you Doogie?
Doogie's fine.
Doogie Howser, can I call you?
No.
Can I call you Doog?
Sure.
Okay.
We go with that.
So, Doog, tell my throngs of people out there, give us some background on Mr. Keith Dugan. Tell us about your life. What's going on?
Well, originally I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, born and bred. I am black and yellow through and through. If you play in Pittsburgh, I root for you. That is my passion, has always been. I've been down here in Florida since I was 13 years old. I've been here ever since, but I've never lost my passion for the Pittsburgh Steelers and all their friends.
Well, that's true. And to be honest with you, I mean, is it true that your name on some talk shows, you are Pittsburgh Keith?
Actually, Steeler Keith.
Steeler Keith. I'm sorry.
That's
Steeler
okay.
Keith.
That's okay.
So does that mean, because you're Steeler Keith, does that mean you have a particular affinity for the Steelers over other Pittsburgh teams?
Yeah, they're probably number 1 in the group, but I love them all. I'm Penguin fan, Pirate fan, the whole 9 yards.
Even after the beatdown that the Patriots gave these Steelers last week?
The who?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I mean, yeah, but I understand. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, where you live and what you do, and a little bit of background.
Well, right now I live up in DeLand, Florida, which is about 4.5 hours north of here.
Excellent.
I'm down here at the reunion with my beautiful wife, and up in DeLand I have my 3 daughters, and life is good. And I'm here with all my friends now, so this has been one of the greatest weekends of my life.
This is fantastic. We're off to a great start so far. So tell me a little bit about one of the things, aside from your regular occupation.
Okay.
To me, one of the coolest things ever. Now, we're all baseball guys, and CB, you can nod. CB's nodding. That means he is a baseball guy as well. And by the way, you saw me 2 episodes ago. I was on the beach in Panama City, and I was, as they say, schwitzing. It's called schwitzing. There's a major schwitz going on right now, so don't be upset about the schwitz. Okay? And I don't have a towel person. A little of this, a little of that. I apologize. So, Keith, one of the things that's really cool to me, now personally, I want you to know, one of my greatest, and I don't want to get long, one of the best games I was ever be involved in playing. Back in college, I got to pitch against the Stetson Hatters in DeLand, who at the time were ranked 18th in the country.
Right.
One of my favorite victories ever was over Stetson University. So now I know right now that you're kind of mixed because we're friends, but yet you've got a little bit of because Tell me about what's going on with you and Stetson University right now.
Well, it all started by, being a fan the way I was. My wife and I had been Stetson season ticket holders for 5 years, and then I heard through the grapevine about a year ago that they were in need of a PA announcer. So I said, well, I'm here anyway. Why not do it? So I applied for the job. I did an interview, and I did a mock game, and they offered it to me. And I can't believe that anybody would pay me to sit and watch a baseball game and announce who's coming to bat and the line scores. I'd do it for free, but they're paying me, so it's a beautiful thing.
I can't believe that. So you saw this ad and you just said, you know what? I love baseball. I'm going to go apply, and they said you're the guy.
Absolutely.
So give me the quick, prep work. What do you? I mean, because it's such a different thing that people see. It's really cool. Tell us how you go about getting prepared.
It's interesting. A Canadian team was coming in, and they were going to play an exhibition game. So that was the time that they wanted me to audition, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I walked into the press box. She said, "Have you done this before?" I said, "Many, many years ago." But I have a familiarity. I said, "What would you like me to do?" She hands me a paper, and she says, "Good luck."
Oh my goodness.
So it's basically a script. It guides you along, but there really was no prep on their end. And I went from there. And after the game, she said, "Great job. We'll take you."
Well, fortunately, you know the game because you not only do you know that you have to know the game, but you played the game. We've been blessed. We've got to play together.
Sure.
We do have a history in baseball.
Yes, we do.
Would you like to share that a little bit?
I'd love to. Great memories. You and I, as people in baseball will understand, were battery mates. I was the catcher, you were the pitcher. And this starts way, way back. I believe our first team was... Hampton's Sporting Goods.
Hampton Sporting Goods. Now defunct, bought out by Dick's, Academy, and Champs. So there is no more Hamptons. Don't go looking for it.
So we continued our relationship both as friends and battery mates, and we moved on to higher levels and eventually ended up in high school at North Miami High School, which is our reunion.
It is the reunion.
And we both
Pioneers.
Go Pioneers. And we
CB, real quick question. Pioneers as our mascot, what do you think?
We loved it.
All right. Okay, go ahead. Go on, continue the story.
So we continued playing together throughout high school, and very, very fond memories. And then after high school, probably the most amazing thing that ever could have happened to both you and I and a few other people. We formed a baseball team because although we were done playing high school, we wanted to continue to play.
Correct.
And we found a semi-pro league, and we gathered our friends. We were fortunate enough to have your dad who financed us, and we became the North Miami Pirates.
And I know that made you happy because you are Steeler Keith.
Exactly.
That's exactly
black and gold. And there's no question about the colors of our team. Forever black and gold.
We did have pirate colors. That's right.
So we traveled the state of Florida, and we played teams of all different likes and just garnered these relationships with both other players and other fans. It really was a wonderful thing. One of the highlights of my life. I will never forget it. As is experience, we've talked about it for the last 2 days, and we're even considering doing a North Miami Pirate reunion.
Which we might have to bring the show back for that. I
think you do.
I don't think we need to all be wearing the same uniforms, though, because they probably wouldn't fit us as well. But that's
not quite.
Not quite. So another aspect of the one and only Keith Dugan, for those of you out there now, and you would probably guess this man was a major thespian, an incredible actor in high school. No surprise, I used to make movies, and I had a star-studded Super 8mm film. That's right, Super 8mm.
That's right.
It's hard to believe. Film called The Death Stalker.
I remember it well.
Now, in The Death Stalker, I believe you played Inspector Kelly.
I did.
Would you like to talk a little bit about what happened in that film and your demise? I hate to say you did not survive the film. The Death Stalker did bring you down.
As much admiration as I had for you and your creativity in creating these movies and inviting me into it, I don't think I ever got over being put out as I was put out.
What
I'm not
happened?
going to kid you.
Tell the throngs. Tell our throngs what happened.
Well, the throng should know that under this man's direction, I had to have an ice pick shoved in my throat. And that was the end of my character. So I was very disappointed, and I'd still like to talk to you about it after the show's over.
We'll need to talk about it. Yeah, I'm still getting letters about how angry the fans were. They couldn't email me because back then there was no such thing as the internet, okay, the World Wide Web. But they could write letters, maybe.
Exactly.
But yes, you were taken out by an ice pick.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
So obviously you love sports. You're having a great time as the announcer for the Hatters.
Yes.
Tell me, have you ever had a brush with fame? Maybe a sports person or not?
I had a brush with fame. I was fortunate enough. I did my internship as I was studying sports administration at St. Thomas University, and just luck of the draw, to be quite honest with you, they sent me to Vero Beach to work with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And at the time, the Los Angeles Dodgers were managed by none other, and you baseball fans will know well, Tommy Lasorda.
Really?
It was an unbelievable experience. He was a dedicated manager. He was full of vigor, fire. The fans loved him. And one of the most amazing things that he ever not taught me, but showed me, is after we would finish a Dodger game, Tommy would insist that I go up to the press box and put on Frank Sinatra, New York, New York, while he threw batting practice for 2 hours.
But for the Dodgers, he's playing New York, New York.
For the Dodgers, and it was on a loop, so I could never put another song on. So, needless to say, that song is in my head for a lot of years after. But Tommy was great. I learned a lot from him, and a fantastic experience.
And you know, he is so highly respected.
Yes.
All across the board. I mean, it really is.
You're a baseball fan, you know, sort of.
Now, in the days where I was in college up in the D.C. area, Georgetown, you made various trips.
Yes.
And I would like to bring back a memory to you that you probably don't want to remember this. We were, hard to believe, CB, this is hard to believe, we were all practical jokers. Hard to believe we were practical jokers.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you remember a time that you were visiting me and you went into the bathroom.
Yes, I do.
And it was the morning.
Yes.
And in the morning, you know, you didn't have roll-on deodorant back then. It was all spray deodorant back then.
Right.
And you went and you gave yourself a huge, healthy spray under the arms, both arms.
Of course.
And everything seemed to be fine for about 15 seconds.
Yes.
Until you realized that the night before, we switched the label with something that was known as heat.
Yes.
And you basically sprayed heat under your arms.
Yes.
And I will tell you right now, had we had video back then,
Thank God we didn't.
To watch your knees buckle and drop to the floor, I still have that memory etched in my mind. Do you remember that moment, sir?
I remember it, and I remember the pleasure in your eyes watching me go through this. So, yeah, I will never forget that. And there were acts of retribution.
There were. I do recall as somebody took every shoelace and tied it to a tennis racket. We went to play tennis. We took the hood off, and there were 40 shoelaces tied into the strings.
Correct.
And then some.
And then some.
Okay, yes, that's good. Now, do you have, because I see these iguanas, do you have any pets? Have you had any pets in your existence?
Mostly dogs, you know, family dogs, all the way growing up. I mean, I guess probably till I was about 40 years old, I had a dog, Pumpkin, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Pumpkin was your dog for all those years.
She was my dog.
CB, I forgot you were here. Let's CB jump in first. We're going to let you take 1 minute max on, because this is Keith Dugan's. Keith Dugan's 15 minutes. But CB, you are at North Miami Pioneer.
Yes, I am.
And you got to put the mic closer.
I will.
Okay. CB, you live in San Antonio, Texas.
Actually, I live in Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas, just outside of San Antonio.
He has to be specific.
And I love it.
CB, how's your weekend going here in sunny South Florida?
From what I remember of it so far, it's been wonderful. I spent a great evening at dinner with you last night, had a wonderful conversation.
Thank you, my friend.
And the day yesterday, golfing with all our friends. Keith was on my cart with me, and
excellent.
We had a ball and a few cocktails. And
family show. I was not anywhere near that foursome, by the way. I just want y'all to know.
They were adult beverages.
I was
over 21.
Waters and Kit Kats is all I had. I just want you to know that.
That is why he is so fantastic. Still young.
Still young. This keeps us young. This
under 50.
This keeps us young. So, well, CB, we're glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Your time is up, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm glad.
So, Keith, tonight is the big shindig, as they say.
Yes, it is.
And there'll be a lot of 70s music.
Yes.
What 70s songs do you remember that kind of confirm your existence during that time that are big to you?
Oh, Casey and the Sunshine Band was a big one. Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then, of course, there were the hard rockers, Boston and AC/DC.
That's right. And a little Foreigner, maybe?
Little Foreigner. Sticks.
Yes, yeah. I think we'll have all that tonight.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
Are you ready to break it down?
Am I ready to break it down?
On the dance floor.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Do you have a signature move on the dance floor that you're going to go with?
My wife will find out tonight.
Okay,
it's the spin. It's the spin. She hasn't seen it before. I've saved it for this reunion.
I like it.
I'm going to break it out for her.
I like it. Well, you know that since you've watched the show,
right,
and the throngs are out there, okay?
Right.
One of the things I asked for is I have someone bring something and they bring something that symbolizes something about their life.
Okay.
So this is my table, the English teacher and me. I have symbol.
Right.
And I asked you to bring something. So if you would, share with my throngs of people out there, what did you bring today to share with them about symbol?
Well, this is obviously my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this hat just lets everybody know, in case you weren't sure, that we are 6-time Super Bowl champions, and there's only one other team in football that has done that. We won't mention their name.
We will not mention them.
But Steeler Nation, as I like to call it, I belong on a nationwide website, and I communicate with Steeler fans everywhere. In fact, my wife and I were on an exotic vacation, and we ran into Steeler fans.
Of course, they're everywhere. We know that, of course.
It's a nation of people that enjoy cheering for them and just enjoy the camaraderie. It's the greatest passion I've ever known, and I love it dearly.
And I am so blessed to say, growing up in South Florida, that during the 70s, I was so blessed to attend both Steeler victories over the Cowboys in the Orange Bowl.
That's right.
Which was quite amazing. It was unbelievable. So, Steeler Keith, the Duke, Coach, and Inspector Kelly. Take your pick. And
not Inspector Kelly. You killed him off.
Just right. You're no longer with us. It's been an honor and a privilege to have you share with me your 15 minutes.
Yes,
here in sunny South Florida, which we thought we were going to get rain today, but it's gorgeous. Unfortunately, we did not get an iguana.
No,
we did get Chris.
We got Chris,
and I think we had Jimmy Constantine, a former friend of ours, was back there. He was just kind of hanging out, so you got to see all of that today. But the last thing that is a requirement on the show,
right,
is I've asked my guests, as I shut it down and close it out, to karaoke.
Okay.
And I'm going to need you to karaoke, please, as I break down my set and my show.
Okay. I only have one request.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see the word somewhere where I can stand up and karaoke. What I've seen on your show, and to your throngs, it's not a true karaoke. You're asking me to go a cappella.
You know what? Let me just say something. I think I've just been called out.
Yes, you have.
I have been called out, but you know what? We all mistakenly choose words in our vernacular and our vocabulary.
True.
I'm going to stick with karaoke, but I'm going to ask you to, instead of karaoke, if you would go a cappella on something for me.
I will do the best I can, but I make no promises because I still have the objection of the karaoke.
I understand. Well, as I break it down, I'm going to allow you to simply relax there. You don't have to get up.
Okay.
Enjoy yourself.
Okay.
And
thank you.
I'll be back as I break it down and you sing. So please begin your a cappella. Keith Dugan, it's been an honor and a privilege to have you join me on your 15 minutes.
Thank you, Tom Bass. It was my pleasure to be here.
You're on, buddy.
Okay. Here come the jesters, 1, 2, 3. It's all part of my fantasy. I love the music and I love to see the crowd dancing in the aisles and singing out loud. It's all part of my rock and roll fantasy. This is a cappella. It's all part of my rock and roll dream. I think that's all I got.
And you know what, Keith Dugan? That's all you need, buddy. It's been your 15 minutes of fame. This has been episode 7. I will see you back for episode 8, where you're going to have to watch. The throngs are out there. Doogie, love you, man.
Thanks, DB.
See you out there, and have a great day.